There are some actors that are just there to fill space. You know the kind. They get the job done, say their lines, maybe look cool in the background of a generic, forgettable blockbuster. And then there are actors like Rick Yoon, who show up to a supporting role with the energy of someone who read the script, set it on fire, stared directly into the director, and say, "No, I am the movie now." Johnny Tran was supposed to be a mid-level antagonist in the first Fast and Furious, a local street king with some bad blood and a high-end motorcycle budget. But from the second he rolled onto screen in a sleeveless leather top, like he was on tour with Linkin Park, he brought the kind of intensity that makes you forget who the actual leads are. He doesn't just threaten people, he spiritually condemns them. He doesn't just ride a bike, he judges you from it. Johnny Tran didn't need a full arc, he needed one good squint and a short fuse. The man had maybe 15 minutes of screen time, tops, but he used every second like it owed him money. There's that unforgettable line, "Go fetch my car." It's launched like an emotional grenade. Every syllable hits like he just found out his dog ran away, his cousin betrayed him, and someone scratched his Ducati all at once. Most antagonists try to act cool or maybe mysterious. Tran went for rage-drenched tragedy with a vengeance playlist playing on loop. He wasn't in a street racing film. He was in his own personal Shakespearean revenge drama that just happened to also feature Nos. Even when he's not on screen, you can feel him nearby, brooding just off camera, probably polishing a pistol or scowling into the distance with his whole neck flexed. What made his presence so effective is that he served as the narrative pressure cooker. In a film that's mostly about Dom and Brian's romantic tension and engine upgrades, Johnny is the chaos agent. He doesn't give cryptic speeches or lay out master plans. He reacts. Hard. He escalates. Every time he appears, it forces the plot to move forward, whether it's chasing down Jesse for a lost pink slip or making Brian seriously question his undercover mission. He's the only character in the movie who doesn't treat the cops, the races, or the consequences like a game. And that brutal contrast grounds the movie, especially in hindsight, when the later entries devolve into moon physics and family cookouts in space. His presence makes the stakes feel real. You remember him because he made you nervous. Everyone else raced. Tran hunted. And to be fair, he kind of had a point. Dom did blow up his cousin's car. But instead of pausing to say, "Maybe I'm the villain," Dom just grumbled something about family. The camera panned dramatically, and we were all expected to forget that Johnny was literally waterboarding people for information in the back of a garage. This is what makes the Fast and Furious franchise such a strange beast. It started as a gritty lo-fi crime race flick with dudes arguing over quarter-mile speeds and low-stakes heists, and somehow evolved into international spy thrillers with magnet planes and Vin Diesel catching cars with his bare hands. Yet Johnny Tran still feels like one of the realest threats the series ever had. Why? Because he looked like he'd actually kill you over a pink slip. Everyone else? They're just here for the barbecue and Corona's not-so-subtle product placement. Now, if you've only seen Rick Yoon in Fast and Furious, you might think, wow, that guy really nailed angry biker energy. But that's just scratching the chrome. In Die Another Day, he plays Zhao, a North Korean agent with diamonds fused into his face. Yes, diamonds. And even then, he somehow delivers that same brand of cold-blooded menace that makes him feel like a final boss. Or go watch The Man with the Iron Fists, where he plays a character literally named Zen Yi, the X-Blade. Rick Yoon does not do half measures. He doesn't do side character. Every role he takes on, he walks in like it's a life-or-death audition for the villain in a John Woo movie. And honestly, we should thank him for it. What's wild is that after the first film, Johnny Tran is never brought up again. No flashbacks, no post-credit teases, no quiet, "Hey, remember that guy who used to run the streets?" Nothing. It's like the writers collectively agreed, yeah, we can't top that. Let's just move on and pretend he was a fever dream in cargo pants. But if you look closely, you can still see the echoes of his presence in the way each new villain tries to out-brood the last, or how every leather jacket since has felt just a little like cosplay. Johnny set the bar, and then he blew it up with C4. So yeah, when people talk about fast villains, they'll throw out names like Shaw, Cypher, or whatever CGI-enhanced WWE heel shows up next. But Johnny Tran? He was real. He was angry. He was way too serious for a movie where Paul Walker says, "I almost had you," like it's Shakespeare. And that, my friends, is what happens when the actor forgets they're not the star, and maybe shouldn't be,